No, you're not late. I was just preempting because me and technology don't generally go together. I didn't want to be like
Oh,
here, like, scrambling.
no, don't worry at all. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Um,
Oh, it's fine, not a problem. Yeah,
because it's obviously it's very valuable for the business because people thinking of using us,
yeah,
yes, they can read reviews, but to actually see, actual customers talk about the experience is really valuable. Um, but also for us here, the team watch these videos. Um,
okay. Oh,
and so it's really nice for the team to actually see, what customers think, and it makes it
yeah.
more sort of real. To start with, it'd be great to kind of understand, how you came across us, why you considered using us rather than other companies, what the situation was when you were approaching us.
Okay, so the truth is that we use local companies initially, and we wanted to sell our house rather quickly because the property that we wanted was on the market and we needed to sell in order to get it. We used a company that we were hoping to buy the property through in order to kind of hopefully streamline it a little bit easier. Um, However, it felt as though they just wanted to get people through the door and the due diligence wasn't being done. So we would have people come in that weren't in a position to buy, that, would say one thing, but actually the reality was very different. And for us, it was really disheartening because we have, we've got a 4-year-old, we've got a dog, we both work from home, and they were asking us to leave the house every time someone came and viewed. So we had about 20 viewings in the first week. So it was mental. Like there were
Oh,
so
wow.
many people
Yeah.
wanted to come and view the property. It's in a really good area in a really nice village, um, which is lovely. But actually, none of those people were in a position to purchase. So we had offers the first day, someone offered over the asking price, which was obviously incredible. But when we actually got down to it, they actually hadn't even got their property on the market. And obviously the property we were on was already, they'd already had similar to us, loads of viewings and people were in position. So unfortunately the house we wanted had been accepted. Obviously they were in a position. And so this carried on for so this was about September to Christmas, this continued. And we had influx after influx of people. And we kind of refocused really and thought, like, what are we doing? Because we want to sell the property, but the people that are coming on, the people that are going to buy the property, the due diligence has been done. They just want to get people through the door for whatever reason. And then we happen to have a number of leaflets through the door, as they do, yourself included, your company. And I contacted them all. And I actually have my own property business. So I know about investing and about obviously not giving the market value and things like that. So I understood what was being said when I read the information. And I contacted everybody. But when I spoke to your company, out of all of them, you felt more kind of approachable. Actually, it wasn't just about the sale, and you weren't just very much, we're only going to put it on at this price and that's it. And I think the process itself was really well shared, about how it actually works. If you want the money today, we can offer this kind of price. If you want it, you're prepared to wait a little, we're prepared to do this. So that really appealed to me. So that is actually why we ended up going with you, because although we knew it was going to cost more in terms of fees and we were probably going to get less than actually what it was worth, for us in our circumstance, we were very adamant that we just kind of wanted to sell now. We didn't want to have to keep hanging around and waiting for people to come and visit that weren't in a position to purchase. Um, and that's the reason that we chose you, because I was quite confident in that. People were saying, can't remember the person I spoke to actually, unfortunately, but she was amazing. And she kind of said, we do the due diligence before we let anyone come through. And if for some reason they've not sold, or, we would always share circumstances with you so that you can be fully aware of who these people are before you say yes to them coming. And that was a relief for us, because we didn't want to have to live in a house with nothing out the whole time, every day. And also I liked that we were able to do the viewings. And although it's not for everybody, we know our home the best. We can share the best of it. You know, we knew about our wonderful street and all the neighbours, and we know about the community. And for us, that was a real appeal of trying to sell the property. But of course, when someone else is doing it, you know, it's not always like that.
You can sell authentic information
Yeah,
about the
that's
area.
it. Yeah, it was just the like our street that we lived on previously. It was, you know, it was really lovely. We had great neighbours. You know, we could tell them about the house, the things that had been done. You know, so yeah, that was the reason really that we ended up choosing you, was more because we felt that you were offering what we wanted.
And because often, naturally, a reservation people would have using us is that we're online based, and traditionally, we're mostly used to using a local agent and things like that. Did you have those reservations? Did you have any reservations? What advice would you give to someone in that sort of situation?
Yeah, and I guess that was my reservation initially, which is why we went with local. But what I know and everybody knows is that you don't look. Very few people actually go and physically look in the windows unless you live there already. We all go on, the big websites. We all look at, the Right Moves and the Zoopla and, all those mainstream kind of stuff that everyone looks at. And that's where everybody is. So unless you're on there, really, you're not going to be seen very well unless you're physically going to somewhere. And although the local companies, I felt, had an advantage originally, was because they would have people that they knew wanted to, be in a 3-bed, house in the village. But what that also meant is that they only had those people, but they were probably only honing in those people because they knew. Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than it
you're
going
not opening up
everybody,
more nationally.
Yeah, and not like catching somebody's eye unless you were looking for it. So yeah, although there was reservations, I think realistically we live in a world where people work all the time and people don't have the opportunity to go and in a local agent. But equally, I found as a buyer as well as a seller, you very restricted in terms of viewing hours. And that was the beauty of this, was that there wasn't those restrictions. And also we didn't have to leave our own house to have people come and look at it. So they were kind of the benefits that we felt outweighed, actually the local ones after some trial and error, unfortunately. Yeah.
And I guess once you sort of decided to use us, how did you find the service in general? The team, how did it go? What did you like?
Yeah. So initially, obviously, I spoke to the lady on the phone. I can't remember her name, but she was really nice. She was really informative. And she explained that I would then get like a caseworker who would set up the viewings, and then I could obviously agree whether or not they were going to come at what time and things like that. And that was a guy called Robert, and he was fantastic. His communication was outstanding the whole time. He was really prompt. If there was any issues, he, if I text him, he would reply. There was no waiting around or waiting in certain hours. He just did it, which was really, really great, because that's what you want. You want that feedback, don't you, straight away? Like, and then once and also what I liked was that although the people were coming to us at a weekend when it was out of hours and things, he asked me, are you okay for me to share your information with them so you can have direct contact? And I really like that, because although you would assume that would probably happen because you're doing the viewings and things, it was really nice that he reconfirmed, actually, is this okay? Are you okay for them to contact you directly if there is an issue? Like, he went through loads of stuff, which was really reassuring. And then once we had the offer accepted, the case then was obviously going to be passed to somebody else. I didn't feel left because Rob was still contacting me if there was something that I rang up. One of the girls, whoever it was that answered, actually got straight back to me. So even though I hadn't had contact with this other person, they did send me an email to say, hello, my name is, and then introduce themselves. Everyone was really responsive, so that was great from my perspective. And they did, when the agents that we were purchasing through wanted like updates and stuff, everybody was really responsive to them. You know, they were quite insistent that they wanted updates very regular. And I think your team dealt with it great because, you know, even I was the other side saying, I don't know what else you want us to say. You know, with the solicitors are doing what they can do. The agents can't really do any more other than sit next to the solicitors and say, do the work. So, yeah, the process in terms of the communication was really, really good. They kept us up to date. And at the end of the process, when the sale was going through, you know, his name was Charles, and he was, I think it was Charles, and he was ringing, like saying, everything's okay, do you need me to do anything? You know, like checking in, making sure everything was okay. And then Rob was still texting saying, is everything gone through? You know, like, so it was really, really good. Like, I felt really supportive, even after the sale had gone through. You know, Charles rang me and checked that everything was okay, that we were happy, even though we weren't buying through you, you know, like we were selling through you. He still checked that everything was okay. And then at the end, there was a bit of a miscommunication between myself and the buyers, and they dealt with that. Like, you know, they didn't have to deal with that because we'd already, you know, you could have just gone off and like said, well, yeah, we've done the sale. That's it done. But actually, they settled that between us, you know, like he negotiated that. So that was really good. But yeah, I absolutely recommend yourselves to anybody really.
Yeah.
If you actually want to sell your property and you don't want loads of people traipsing through your home, then I would definitely just use you every time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess you know, if someone was thinking of using us and unsure, what advice would you give them? What would you say?
I would say just call and speak to somebody, because I think unless you can speak to somebody, you don't get a real feel for the company. Because when you get a letter through the door, it's like all the others that you get. You know, there's no difference. So just ring and speak to somebody and ask about the process, because your company was really willing to share the whole process. You weren't hiding anything. You weren't like, oh, it's going to be this much, but then we're going to add on this, or we're going to do this, and then didn't do it. You did exactly what you said. And that was, I think that's what you want. And that's what you want to instill confidence in people. So I would just say ring and trust that you're going to do what you say, because that's what you did for me.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
Is there anything you sort of want to add, or you know, or you know, any members of the team you sort of feel did a particularly good job, or anything like that? Or
yeah, like that Robert, he was fantastic. I can't remember his surname. Do you know who I'm referring
Robert
to?
Love. Yeah, Robert Love.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So he was great. He was so thorough. Like I say, I know that really his part of the process had finished, but he still responded. And so did, I can't remember the girl's name, unfortunately, but she, you know, if I needed something and someone wasn't available, you know, that was good. So I just feel like as a whole, as a team, everybody did what they said they would, and was really like supportive with the whole process. I didn't feel like, oh, I don't want to ring because I'm going to just get, you know, palmed off, or no one's going to have any answers, or I didn't feel like that once. And quite often, you know, a lot of things are done online now. Everything, you know, your bills, everything's done, and that's how you feel continuously. But actually, that's not how your company ran. That wasn't what my experience was. So, yeah, I was really thankful for that. And that also that the messaging for myself and for the people that were viewing was sent. So everyone was clear, everyone knew, was really helpful. So, yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Okay.
I think the team are going to really enjoy watching this. I think especially Rob, because it is really it's really nice to get the sort of feedback. So thank you so much.
It wasn't that good. Don't let him know that. No. I'm only joking.
Yeah. No, of course. No, honestly, thank you.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me, to everyone here. So thank you so much.